I toured 6 New York City apartments and somehow I chose the worst one. I'm going to show you the amazing options that I saw. Oh yeah, this is the one. This is the one. I'm going to show you the not so amazing options that I saw. Like I said, the common area smelled like death. And number 3, she had to karate kick the door open. Everyone knows how impossible it is to find an apartment in this city. I am telling you this so that you can learn from my mistakes, or if you're not moving to New York, you can just watch me relive my trauma, which is just as entertaining. Let's start this video. First off, how did I get here? For those of you who are new here, my name is Sheridan. I am a 30-year-old living in Jersey City, but prior to this, I was living in New York City, and I have been living in New York City for about 7 years. I had just gotten my dream job. I was finally able to stop living paycheck to paycheck. I was able to afford living on my own, and as soon as I was able to do that, I was like, let's wrap this up, let's get out of here, and let's find me an apartment. I gave myself the challenge to not only find my first apartment that I've ever lived in by myself, but I gave myself 2 weeks to do it in the dead of winter. And these were also the other requirements that I was looking for in my apartment hunting process. Number 1, it needed to be a true 1-bedroom, no studios, which is pretty ironic now. For those of you who don't know, I live in 300 square feet right now. Crazy. Rule number 2, it had to be on the 2nd floor or higher for safety reasons, as I am a single woman who's living on her own. And number 2, for cleanliness reasons, because if you don't know, I'm telling you right now, if you live on the 1st floor and you're by some trash, you're guaranteed to have a little critter friend running around, whether that is a roach or a mouse. But I will say, I once lived on the 3rd floor, and we also had a mouse named Alfred. He lived with us for a little bit of time. It needed to be max 10 minutes walking to a train. My commute to work needed to be no longer than 45 minutes. The areas I was looking for was Williamsburg, Bushwick, Bed-Stuy. I was very adamant about these 3 neighborhoods, and my budget at the time was no more than $2,000. In my mind, I'm like, this process is gonna be a walk in the park. I'm surely gonna find something.
Miss Jackson.
Which leads us to the apartments that I viewed. Apartment number 1. I like to call this apartment the one that I thought I needed. This one was located in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. It was on the market for $2,100. And when I saw the pictures on Street Easy, you guys, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the apartment. This is the one I need. Things move so fast in New York. If you're thinking about wanting this apartment, 9 times out of 10, someone's already putting the application and is already off the market. So let's not be negative here, okay? Let's start on a positive note. Let me tell you the things that I actually really liked about this apartment. I live in a pre-war building, and if you guys know anything about a pre-war building, is that I don't control my heat. It's 40 degrees outside and I'm sweating right now, okay? That you're doing your job, sir. Here's what I liked about this apartment. Number 1, the location. Williamsburg is an incredible location. There were so many trendy coffee shops, so many cool places and bars that I could go out in. Number 2, it was only a 30-minute commute to work, which was amazing. The train was also literally like a 5-minute walk, probably even less. And it was by 2 train lines, the J and the M. Here's what I didn't like about the apartment. It was on the 1st floor. The door, like the main door, was to the street. It's not like it had multiple doors, you know, where you can put a code, walk in, and then you had to like unlock your door as well. That provided a little bit more safety. It was like you open your door, hello Brooklyn. Made me really uncomfortable. But the thing that made me the most uncomfortable was it shared a wall, you guys, with the car service garage stop.
Damn.
You know, where cars come in if something's wrong and they're like drilling and trying to fix shit. Unfortunately, I had to pass on this one and the apartment hunting had to continue. Which leads us to apartment number 2. Let's call apartment number 2 the spooky one. Listen, we all have our own particular style, and I'm not judging. You know what? I actually am judging. When I walked into this apartment, I felt like I needed to cleanse myself by the time I walked out. Physically, because it was dirty, and mentally, because I thought some spirits and some demons were probably attached to me walking out of this apartment. And unfortunately, I should have separated the decorative choices that the tenant before had chosen. But again, let's look at the positives. Number 1, it was in a prime Bushwick location, you guys. Like, when I tell you, when you think of Bushwick, you are thinking of this location. It was by all the popular bars. It was by all the popular thrift stores. All my favorite little boutiques that I already shopped out. It was a 5-minute walk from the J, the M, and like a 10-minute walk from the L. So it was by 3 major trains. My commute to work would have been 30 minutes as well. It was by all the yummy ramen spots and the artichoke pizzas and the Turkish inns, and it was just in like the best incredible location. It was literally down the street from my regular yoga spot. Like, it was amazing, and it was on the market for $1,500. I would have been saving so much money by moving into this place. But yeah, I just couldn't get past the spookiness of it, which leads us to apartment number 3. Apartment number 3, let's call this one the one where the broker karate kicked the door open. I swear, you guys, living in New York, there is never a dull moment, ever. Let's do a little story time. Number 1, this apartment is in Bed-Stuy, and it's on the market for $2,000 a month. So I get to the building, right? The broker's there. She's a sister. So I'm like, okay, girl, we got this. Help me find a place. We walk into the building, and first off, the building smelled like a mixture of like mold and death. The odor definitely was like, already deterring me. We step up to the apartment door, and the broker is having quite a bit of issues of opening the door. She's trying to be calm, and she's like, you know, I already told them to fix this. I already communicated that this needed to be fixed. She just keeps like struggling with it. And I'm like, you know, is there anything I can do? Like, maybe this, I was already like, you know what, sis, you might as well just stop trying to open the door, because this already is not the one for me. She's still trying. She's banging on the door. And then finally she like drops her hand. She's like, I'm tired of this. And literally like karate kicked the door open, taking her Taibo anger out on this door. And I'm just like, okay. At first I wanted to just turn around and be like, you know what, ma'am, you don't even need to show me. But number 1, she already put so much effort in kicking the door in, and number 2, I was concerned that the next thing she was going to karate kick was me. So I walked into the apartment. We viewed the apartment, and like I said, the apartment on the inside was actually like pretty decent. It had central AC, which I was pretty surprised about. It was a proper 1-bedroom. The lofted area was honestly kind of cool. Like, I feel like I definitely, oh god, my leg is falling asleep after I did the karate kick. The lofted area felt like something I could honestly like maneuver, which is like really cool. But then there was also a separate space that could be a 1 bedroom. So like the layout I actually really liked. It was next to an A train, which anyone who knows, who has an A train, that is like gold. Okay, like if you have an A train, you can literally just hop into the train and not have to transfer. It can take you anywhere you need to go. So that was really cool about that. But the cons were the outside of the apartment was really sketchy. Like the neighborhood area, it was in Bed-Stuy, but it was just in an area that just felt a little rough. So that made me really uncomfortable. The backyard came with a toilet, but like not in like a functional way, in like a trashy kind of way. Number two, like I said, the common area smelled like death. And number three, she had to karate kick the door open. So I'm just like, I don't want that to be my life. Like I said, she was a sister. So I was like, listen, girl, like, help me out. I'm trying to find an apartment. Please, like, do you have any other options? So that leads us into apartment number 4. We're gonna call this one the one that was out of my budget. It had central AC. It had washer, dryer in building. Like in the basement, there was a designated washer, dryer room. Updated appliances, like natural light. It was honestly really beautiful. It was on the 3rd floor as well. Cons of this was it was a studio, and like I said, I wanted a true 1 bedroom at the time. Number 2, it was on the market for $2,400. Oh my god, can y'all calm down out there? Like, what's going on? It was really nice, definitely out of my price range. It wasn't a studio, but I honestly was still considering this because it was nice and I could see myself living there. It was next to an A train, so it was still definitely a contender, you guys. But we move on. I'm like, let's keep looking. We still have time, and I don't want to just settle on this space, especially if it's probably going to be a stretch and a little bit out of my price range. That leads us to apartment number 5, you guys. And let's call this apartment the one that got away. When I tell you, I think about that apartment like from time to time. Like I really do. I love this apartment, you guys. Like when I think of a Brooklyn apartment, this apartment is literally what comes to mind, right? It was in Bed-Stuy, in an historical area. It was in a beautiful brownstone. Just had so much character, so much molding, exposed brick. It was in an area that I was very familiar with, close to one of my best friend's house where she lives. Not only was it beautiful in appearance, it also had a washer and dryer in unit, and utilities were included in the price, and it was on the market for $2,000. You guys, like when I say I saw this apartment and I was like, this is the one for me. So again, with this one, I applied. I sent a nice little cover letter to the broker at the time. No broker fee, by the way, just saying. And the broker emailed me back and was like, hey, we're having an open house. Come to this open house so you can see it, but go ahead and put your application in, but it's going to be extremely competitive. I wrote my little cover letter. I was like, I got this. She responded back to me, this apartment is mine. Praying, manifesting. I believed it, you guys. I showed up and there were 20 other people there also looking at this apartment. Talk about intimidating. Talk about, it felt like I was on a job interview. I literally walked up to the broker and like introduced myself and was like, this would be a great opportunity for me. Like, what? I think of it now, and this broker was like, girl, if you don't get the out of my face. There was one con, and the con was that it was a 17-minute walking distance to the closest train. But you guys, I was ready to give that up. I was like, I don't care. I'll walk 17 minutes. I need to get my 10,000 steps anyway. Totally fine. So I waited like 2 days, just constantly refreshing my application, hitting up the broker, asking her for any updates, and I didn't get the apartment. When I tell you, I cried. Oh my God. Strong believer that everything happens for a reason, and I hope that whoever got accepted to that apartment really loves it and has found a great home out of it. But I'm kidding. Which leads us to apartment number 6, you guys. At this point, I'm desperate. I'm distraught after being ripped from my home that was never my home. And I'm just like, this is crunch time and I just need to find something, right? We leave to apartment number 6. I'm on Street Easy. I'm checking Street Easy like every second, right? Street Easy is now my new Instagram. Like, forget Instagram. I'm just like looking at apartments. This one was put on Street Easy literally for like 5 minutes. I see it. I was like, oh yeah, this is the one. This is the one. So I immediately messaged the broker. I was like, send me the application. I'm going to apply right now. I want this apartment. And so she was like, whoa, calm down. Like, you need to look at the apartment first. She was not sending the application. She was like, just look at the apartment first before you apply for it. And I was like, okay, fine. When you want me to come right now? I can come right now. Let me know when. She was like, okay, give me a couple days. I just put this thing on Street Easy. Calm down. And so we scheduled time like 2 days later when she was available. I come and see the apartment. I was the first person to ever see the apartment, first person to comment from the listing. And I see the apartment, and I honestly, you guys, like, I was sold. I saw it and I was like, yeah, this is it. It was 15 minutes walking from where I was living at the moment. So it was in Bushwick. It was in a neighborhood, the area I was already familiar with. It was on the market for $2,095. So it was $95 over what I was originally looking to, but I definitely could make it work. So that was not an issue to me. I really like the layout and the size. This apartment was 800 square feet. This was huge. This was unheard of for a Brooklyn apartment, you guys. What I also really loved about this apartment is that it had such charm. It had a separate office space, which was really cool. This is it. Sign me up. Sign me up, ma'am. So I applied for the apartment. I want to say it took about a day, and then I was accepted for it. Yeah, this is me getting accepted. I was so happy at the time. But I will say I definitely missed the red flags. Number one is that there wasn't a fridge. As you could probably tell, there was no fridge, which was already, it should have been alarming. At the time, it wasn't alarming, but it should have been alarming. And number two, a lot of the appliances just looked raggedy. Like, the oven looked raggedy. There were drawers that were broken. Things just looked really outdated. The floors were crusty. They weren't even. Like, it just looked like the apartment was not maintained. The common area, there was literally, I mean, I'm sure still to this day, the staircase railing, thank God I didn't, fall and trip, because there was like the staircase railing. There was like a pillar, that's supposed to hold and support the staircase, well, yeah, it was like pointing towards there with a sharp edge that could have literally punctured me if I fell down the stairs. And many times I've almost fell down those stairs, and I'm like, am I gonna get punctured through the... That's really explicit. Let me not say that. I definitely learned a lot of hard truths about looking for an apartment in New York City during winter time. Yes, you can find a greater deal. Apartments are probably going to be cheaper. Yes, it is less competitive, so you don't have to worry about, you know, situation I dealt with the apartment that I absolutely fell in love with is probably more of the situations that you deal with during springtime. But that being said, is you get what you paid for. There's probably reasons why people are moving out during the winter time. Number one, it's hard to move during winter. Number two, the options aren't as great. Okay, the quality isn't as great. And I was just noticing that the apartments that I were looking at were ratchet. Okay, they weren't very good options, unfortunately, and I think that just unfortunately comes with the territory of moving in the dead of winter. Number two, I didn't give myself enough time. 2 weeks is not enough time, you guys, and I was trying to rush the process by thinking I was being more strategic and efficient, and it ended up, me thinking I was moving 1 step forward ended up bringing me 5 steps back. And unfortunately, I think it hurt me instead of necessarily helping me. Number 3, and I didn't mention this before, but I had to pay a broker's fee for this place. And the broker's fee was $3,000. And you know, at the time, things are different now. There are laws that are passed where it is, you know, illegal. Well, it's not legal, but like if you hired the broker, then you pay the broker. The landlord hired the broker. She should have paid for the broker. But at that time, I ended up paying for the broker, and I honestly think that is a red flag. And I just think that is so inconsiderate. Number one, it is literally the definition of capitalism. And I just think that if a landlord is willing to let you not only pay for the broker, but you have to worry about all your moving fees, paying first month's rent, sometimes paying last month's rent. There's so much money that is coming out of your pocket to move into these New York apartments. And if the landlord is that inconsiderate to make you pay for a broker's fee, that is a giant red flag. And it's something that I was just like, you know what, this is normal. This is the price of living in New York, blase, blase. But that honestly should have been a huge red flag. Also, another lesson that I learned is that I should not limit myself on the neighborhoods. I was so like stuck up about like, I want to live in Brooklyn, and like specifically like East Central North Brooklyn. Like I was just so set on living in those neighborhoods. I did not want to like picture living anywhere else, when in full fact there are so many other affordable neighborhoods that I could have also viewed. There's Harlem, there's, you know, Queens, Long Island City, Astoria, there's Jersey. Hello, your girl's in Jersey now. And I was just so set on living in Bushwick, Williamsburg, Bed-Stuy. Like there was no other neighborhoods in mind, and I think that really put, you know, a burden, a ceiling on what other opportunities and what other options were out there. And knowing what I know now, I would have moved to Jersey a lot sooner, but I was just really stuck up at the time and was like, ew, I'm not moving to Manhattan, you know, I'm too cool for Manhattan. Hopefully you learned a lot from this. Hopefully you can take some lessons out of this. And if you have not seen it yet, I will link it above. Please go and check out my New York apartment horror story series, where you see from beginning to end what it looked like moving in and everything I dealt with within the process. Please watch this now, because next Thursday we are going to be going through it live again, so you can clearly watch me relive my trauma. But I'm going to rewatch these videos, honestly, for the first time. Since I've uploaded these videos, I have not watched them again. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to rewatch them and like give commentary on like things that I wasn't able to include in these videos, and let you guys know, number one, the behind the scenes, give you behind the scenes footage that you have never seen, let you guys know the lessons I learned at that time, what I now know, what I didn't know then, and just give more clarity to the series, because I feel like there was definitely a lot of things that were left out that I could probably elaborate on. So make sure you watch the full American I was about to say American Horror Story. It felt like an American Horror Story.